All right. Well, here we go. The Hunting Land Mad podcast number 65. It's crazy that we've done 65 of them. I'm not getting any younger. Today, I've jumped on here solo. Just kind of want to give y'all an update of where we're at. Going to go over a couple of things in the land business, go over a couple of things in the turkey business. But before we get too far, as always, this podcast is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us. They took good care of us last week. I was up there at the main office for a crawfish bowl, which was awesome. Thank y'all for having me. And I think I got 5 deals going on right now with Alex, some personal and then some with my clients. And they do a great job. Me and Alex were talking yesterday about Southern Ag, and it's easy to sell Southern Ag because Southern Ag really does make the best product, being their loans and their services with their loans. So check out Southern Ag Credit. They can hook you up. And now let's get down to business. All right. Right now it is turkey season. And if you hear it in my voice and Zeb behind the camera, you'll probably hear it in his voice. There's tired and there's turkey season tired. I hate when hunters use the term grinding it out. But turkey season is kind of, that's kind of what we're doing now. Here around the house, in Mississippi and Louisiana, we're not like killing ourselves every day. We go out for a couple hours in the morning, maybe sometimes in the afternoon, and, then we usually got to go to work and do stuff. Now, this morning, we got whipped, and I'm aggravated about it. Two turkeys we really didn't have a chance with. They went with the hens, but then we had one that came in, and he did everything but die. He came in there about, 70 yards probably? About 70 yards, and just didn't like something and eased out. So he'll be real fun to kill the rest of the season. Just have to change up the tactics on him, but we think we figured out yesterday where he lives, so he's in trouble. All right, so where we're at, this is April the 4th. I still got 1 tag in Mississippi. I've been bringing a lot of other people. So I've killed 2. We had a client missed 1. We had a client kill 1. Asa had an unbelievable hunt, and Bentley had an unbelievable hunt. Which brings me to my next topic. We got some great episodes out. We got Zeb Smotherland behind the camera, and he has been doing a great job with the episodes and really stepped up the game, and you're going to really like these episodes. So the first episode that Zeb did was Ace's episode. It'd be episode 1 of season 3, and you couldn't ask for a better turkey hunt than Asa had. Read the script, gobbled a bunch, came in there, and she did great. Now she's hooked. I got to get her off of school. I got to let her play hooky from school so we can take her again soon. And then we had a great opening day hunt, and let me see. So Ace's Hunt's 1 episode, and then the next episode we just released yesterday. That's episode 2 of season 3. I had 2 great hunts. I had 1 crazy hunt. You'll have to see that on the episode. Crazy weather and quite crazy the way it worked out in the woods for opening day, and then I killed 1 2 days later in just a crisp, clear, beautiful hunt with beautiful footage. So y'all check those episodes out. We're on Waypoint TV, plus you can check them out on YouTube. We put them out on YouTube too, so y'all go check them out and let us know what you think. And if you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe our page. It really helps us out. And go comment on one of the videos. Say you like it, you don't like it, Slade can't call, Slade can't kill, whatever you want to say, it helps out. All right, so we're rocking and rolling. We still got some turkey season. Louisiana starts tomorrow. Yeah, Louisiana starts on the 5th, starts tomorrow. So by the time you're hearing this podcast, Louisiana will be open. It's going to be nasty weather in the morning. Doesn't matter anyway because I can't go because we got T-ball tomorrow. So we can't miss Rafe's first T-ball game. So we're going to be T-balling in the morning. I may get up and go listen for one, but it's supposed to be like 15-mile-an-hour wind, so I probably won't even do that. Probably get up and do some stuff around here. All right, let's update y'all on what's going on in the land game right now. We are rocking and rolling. So we had a really good year last year. It kind of got a little slow right before the election, and after the election, it rocking and rolled, and is still rocking and rolling. Now, don't believe everything you hear on the news. The world's falling apart. The economy's falling apart. The land business is rocking, and it just goes to show why land is one of the best investments on earth. So let me take y'all back in time, a little time machine here. So just a couple years ago, if you remember, we had this thing called COVID. And, of course, again, the world was all falling apart and the sky is falling. Well, interest rates back then were in the 4s and 5s, and the land market went crazy. All right. In the last year and a half or so, 2 years, interest rates almost doubled, up in the 7 and 8% range. And it didn't slow down our real estate market. I mean, I sold $60 million in real estate. It wasn't like I had one big idiot that spent $60 million. I think we represented 80 different clients last year on transactions. So the market is good. And if that doesn't speak to how good land is as an investment, we went from 4% interest rates to 8%, and land values continue to go up. In fact, I'm having to push these appraisals and making sure that my appraisers get all the comps and stuff right, because these land is contracting for such high prices, we're having to justify those values. Jones, you got to be quiet. Y'all apologize for my dog. Anyway, we got a little dog barking on the podcast. Jones, get in here. All right, back to land. You're a good boy. He's a good boy. He just gets a little excited. All right. So anyway, back to land. It continues to go up in value. We're having to push for the values for the appraisals, and it's selling left and right. So we did really good last year, and in first quarter, getting us up to now, interest rates have dropped a little bit. I saw a thing today on the news there at their lowest rates of the year. And they are projected to go down, not a whole lot, but a little bit more. And in the next 18 months, probably a good bit. We had a really good first quarter, sold right at 18 to 20 million. So we had a really good first quarter. We got some good listings coming up. And my prediction is we're selling, not only me, this is the market in general, we're selling it at about twice the rate we're relisting it. So let me tell you what's about to happen. Inventory's going down, interest rates going down. That's going to make prices go up. I don't see it going down anytime soon. I don't see it leveling out anytime soon. I think these recreational values continue to climb. Now, will they climb as much as they did in COVID? Probably not, but they're going to continue to climb. If you see a good track and you're looking at it, go buy it now. One of the coolest things about working with Southern Ag Credit, and I've said this 1,000 times on this podcast, is you go right now and you go buy, and let's say your interest rate's at 7%. Now, with Southern Ag Credit, you're going to get 1% back a year, so your effective rate will be 6% because they're a co-op and part of the farm credit system. And then as interest rates go down, they will write your rate down for free. Now, this is not an adjustable rate mortgage. So you get your rate now, it's at 7, your effective rate's 6, but it comes down 18 months from now to 6, and your effective rate's 5. That's where you'll be. And guess what? When it goes back up, you stay at the lower rate. So when interest rates go down, prices are going to go up, but you're going to be smart because you listen to the Hunt and Land Man podcast, and you're going to buy your land now, and you're going to pay a little bit more in interest now, but you're going to save money down the road because your land's going to be worth more, and you didn't have to pay more for it. I'm giving away the secret sauce. I mean, there you go. I just paid for myself. But that's my predictions. I think the land market is going to do really, really good. It's some things that were on the market last year that weren't selling that are selling now. So it's just, and it's all over the board. It's not. We've got some super expensive stuff that's selling and getting activity. I showed a $5 million or $4.5 million place last week. We're listing a big $8 million place next week. That was going to be a good one. Y'all be looking for that one. Ducks, deer, and some turkeys here in Mississippi. It's going to be a special one. And Zeb is going to, now Zeb, correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to make the best real estate video Hunt and Land Man TV's ever made. Ever made. He called it right here. I got it on video. I got it on audio. Zeb's going to make the best listing video. That's one thing cool about working with us. I got Zeb. He's my full-time guy. Every one of our listings, whenever you list with us, yes, we cost more. If somebody says, hey, Slade, how much commission you charge? You know what my response is? More than everybody else. You get what you pay for. I just went and got my oil changed. I could have got it at a cheaper place, but I got it at a place where people I know that would take care of my truck, and it costs a little bit more because you get a better service. That's what you get with us. You get a full-time guy with Zeb doing your pictures and video on social media, doing podcasts like this, talking about your listing, and then we just put a lot of eyes on our brand and on our properties. In fact, I would say we put 100 eyes to one versus any other real estate company. Just from what all we do, from the TV show side to the podcast side to the social media to the websites, you name it, we're there. Billboards, print ads, we are there. If it's a place we can advertise your listing, we're there. Tomorrow at T-Ball, guess what you're going to see out on the sign? Hunt and Land Man, Southern States Realty, give us a call today because we're going to put your property everywhere. But that's kind of the update on the land market. A lot of small stuff has been selling. We're getting some more stuff on the market. The best way you can stay in touch, make sure on my email list. If you think you're on my email list but you haven't been getting emails from me, check your spam. And if not, get a hold of me or Lori, and we will make sure you're on there. Follow us on social media. Follow us on YouTube and this podcast. And like I say all the time, we're giving away the secret sauce. So, if there's stuff coming up, the closer you follow us and see things and hear me talk about things every morning, I give an update on my Instagram. Hey, this is what's going on. You may hear about things on there before anybody else. So give us a follow there. Make sure you're interacting so you see us all the time. All right, one thing I wanted to do on this episode 65 podcast, I got Zeb here. Now, Zeb's not in front of the camera right now, but I wanted Zeb, as a young man, he's 21 years old. He's been around the land game for now 3 weeks, kind of seen some things. I'm sure he's like, man, I can't wait to buy me some land one day, or how can I buy some land? He's getting a first-class real estate education, and he didn't even know it. What's some questions you would have, Zeb, that I think you would have a unique perspective, because there's other people that are just starting to look, and they don't know, for lack of a better word, they don't know anything either. What you got?
So, I'm not from here. I'm from out of state. First thing I'm thinking about is anybody that's not necessarily in the state. You sell in Mississippi and Louisiana. We just went to Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. When you're doing more of this stuff, especially people coming from maybe northern Louisiana, coming to southern Mississippi, because I'm buying an out-of-state license, what's the most effective way have you found in just kind of like selling these pieces of property to people that are not necessarily from here? Because I'm very interested in buying land, just like you said, and it would probably be here because I live here. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to approach differently someone who's from here, knows the area, and has kind of that like little home already here versus someone who's like me coming from somewhere else? So
what Zeb just asked, if y'all couldn't hear, Zeb said he's from out of town, so he, just like I sell to people from other states, and mostly in Mississippi, I sell to Louisiana. And, of course, they got to buy out-of-state license. They've got to drive and, get their power hooked up and their water hooked up. I actually have a unique perspective on this, and let me tell you what gave me the unique perspective on this. It's me buying land in other states, because I know what my clients go through. My clients ask, hey, Slade, you think I should ask for the furniture in the camp? Well, let me tell you why you want to get it, if you can. It's not a deal breaker, but the first 3 times you come to your camp, do you want to come work on your land and your camp and your place, or do you want to go to the furniture shopping? Because if you're not, you got to go furniture shopping the first 2 or 3 times you go. So I always so when I buy stuff, I love for them to leave. I tell them, leave the pots and the pans, pick up everything but your toothbrush. I want everything but your toothbrush, leave it there. And it just makes it easier, even if you have to pay a little bit more, because, you may not like the couch in the living room, but guess what you can do 6 months from now? Go find you a couch, and you don't have to find it tomorrow. So out-of-state license, you brought that up. So, of course, out-of-state license are super expensive in Mississippi. But in the grand scheme of things, a couple extra $100 a year, it's not, I hear people mention all the time, like, you're buying $1 million place and you're worried about a $400 hunting license. It's not, like $400 is a lot of money, but it's not and when you're talking about buying a couple $100,000 or $1 million place. Something that's big, that the questions I asked out-of-state people is, most people in Louisiana are coming from south of here, coming up from Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, coming up to buy in Southwest Mississippi or up in here in Louisiana. Something that I always ask them, okay, first of all, how far are you willing to drive? Okay, because that gives me kind of a perimeter or circle. what's your budget? Okay, and then what are your goals for your property? Okay, I had a client today call me and says, look, Slade, big deer. That's what I want. I said, okay, what kind of budget we working with? He's working with a $2 million budget. Okay, well, what's your drive time? I'm willing to drive up to 3-4 hours from New Orleans. Well, that puts us in a lot of places. So those are things you have to consider. Like, and you may not even know why that drive time is important. Okay, you can figure out your budget. Because, we all have budgets for groceries and household living, that sort of thing every day. So you got to have 20% down with Southern Ag Credit, 15 to 20% down with Southern Ag Credit or a lot of banks. So you can kind of figure out what you can afford. If you can't get with your banker and figure out what you can afford, it'll help our process so we know we're not looking at stuff that you can't afford. The drive time is huge. So what happens, and I only learned this because I've been doing it for 18 years, is people say, Slade, I bought a piece of land up in North Mississippi, North Louisiana. It was a lot cheaper. But, after the first 2 years, after everybody was gung-ho, nobody wanted to go because it was a 5-6 hour drive. And that is the thing. You got it. If you can get your wife to go, you can go more. If you can get your kids and your family involved, you get to go more. So that's why so many of my clients buy from Natchez South and the Woodville, Centerville, Liberty, all the Franklin County, all those areas, because 2 hours from New Orleans, hour and a half from Baton Rouge, you can be at most of these places, and that's why our little corner of the state is so popular. So you got to answer how far you want to drive, what's your budget, and your third thing, what's your goals? If a guy calls me and says, Slade, let's talk about the guy that called me yesterday. He said, I want big deer. Okay, well, we need to look in big deer areas. Now, you grow big deer in most of these areas, but it sure helps to start in a better area. So, okay, this guy, I asked him, well, what kind of deer, what do you consider big deer? Because kind of a relative term, And he said, well, if we can kill 140, 150-inch deer, we would be super happy. I said, okay, there's areas, and where we're talking about some of the better areas that you can consistently do that. So typically, we want to be in a river county or parish or some type of farm ground, good soil, so we can grow really good deer. But there may be a client out there that says, and this happens all the time, Slade, look, I just want to see deer. If we kill a good buck, great. If we don't, it ain't that big a deal. We want to see deer. We want to see turkeys, but we want a little creek or a little pond for the family to play in. You got to tell me this, because if you're more worried about, I don't have to kill a 150-inch deer. All I want to do is have a nice little creek I can play on during the summer, and then maybe kill a couple deer for the freezer during the fall. Well, that changes the game. We don't have to be in Wilkeston or Adams or Claiborne County. We can come over towards Highway 55 and get in Pike County, Walthall County, Copiah County. We can get in a lot of different areas that can expand our search and maybe make it easier for you to find your piece of land. I mean, everybody's looking through their own lens. I'm looking through the lens of, if I want to track a land for me to hunt right now, I want to kill 5-year-old deer with my bow. That's not everybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had a client one time say, hey, we just want to kill a legal buck. If my son kills an 8-point, that you made my day. Okay, well, I can do that pretty much anywhere in Southwest Mississippi. I mean, I've seen 8 points right behind my basketball goal before. But so you just got to answer your question. You just got to answer those questions for yourself. Then take me or any other good agent, give them the information. We don't know what's going to trip your trigger. Only you will. And that brings me to another point. Even if you tell me everything you're looking for, I can't tell you how many times somebody says, we weren't looking for this, but now that I've seen it, this is what I want. You got to do your own research. You got to get on Land Watch or some of the third-party sites, Land and Farm, Crexy, all these different sites. You got to get on there, and you may see something that you didn't tell your agent about, and you say, I like this one. Tell you what you do. You go to that top little box where you type in www, you copy, and you paste it to a text message to me or your favorite agent. Then we can look at what you're looking at and say, okay, let me tell you why you do like this place, or let me tell you why we don't need to go look at this place. I got a track right now listed that people call me, I want to go look. And I mean, upfront and honest with them. Hey, listen, I don't think this is going to work. You told me what you wanted, and this is not it. And when I tell them kind of reality, they say, okay, you're right. And we can save ourselves both a lot of time. Now, if they're adamant about going looking, absolutely. We'll go look, and we can look at 10 of the wrong ones as long as we find you the right one. But most of the time with technology today, with the maps, the pictures, and the drones, and all that kind of stuff we use, we can narrow down what you're looking for a lot of times. So if you take, all right, I got these 10 properties I'm interested in, I bet we can narrow it down to 3 or 4 by the time we get done talking about area, location, price, all the factors that would determine if you're interested in a piece of land. All right, Zeb, what's your next question?
So if you're taking a first-time land buyer, they just want a piece of property to hunt. I mean, no, there's no real, I've got to have this point. As someone who's new to buying land, how would you approach selling a property to them?
Kind of my brain goes, he asked if it was the first time, if y'all didn't hear this, Zeb said, if it's a first-time land buyer that doesn't really know exactly what they want, but they knew they want a hunting track, something that they can have fun on, and what I'm hearing is kind of my first investment in land. And the way most of the time goes, your first one's usually not your last one. So my suggestion to this person, let's say I was talking to Zeb, I'd say, listen, let's find you something that's priced right. Doesn't have to be a great deal, just be a good deal. Okay? You're young and energetic. I can help you with this. Let's find you a place that's priced right, and let's do a little sweat equity. Let's go in there and let's make some food plots and clean up some trails, clean up around the old pond that's on there, or maybe clean up the old camp, that sort of thing. Have fun and enjoy it. Learn how to do a bunch of stuff. Hunt, fish, enjoy your property. And then once you get done with that process, you're probably going to say, I love doing this. It's a couple years down the road. My budget's a little bigger. Good thing Slade told me to buy a place right, buy it for a good price, because now I can go find exactly what I want. Or if you like a very rare few and you find the property you want forever, the first one, more power to you. So my brain goes to buy something that's good. And that way also on the other end of the spectrum, if you buy it and say, I hate fooling with this land, I want to go to an outfitter, I am not worried about that. If you buy it right, we can get your money back probably a little more.
So, flip the script. Somebody who...
He's flipping the script, y'all.
Continues, is the same way, doesn't really care about anything real specific, but they have a lot of money, they can spend as much as they have. Budget's not an issue. Older individual wants to just buy something, own it for the rest of their life. Wants turnkey. Doesn't want to mess with anything. Wants
a legacy property, turnkey, something they don't have to do anything on, something that they can bring. Basically, what Zeb said, if y'all didn't hear, he said somebody, older individual, high net worth. Budget's not an issue. Want something kind of a legacy property, turnkey that they can. I'm assuming going to probably bring the wife, the girlfriend, the grandkids, the kids hunting and enjoy the rest of the days and probably pass it down. First, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. What's your goals? Like if you said, look, it's like we like to hunt, whatever, but we if you got that kind of budget and we want a place we can enjoy year round, and I want a place that gets us a lot. I want a place that people want to come to so I can spend time with the people I love. Well, man, you need to buy Little Falls. They got a waterfall in the front door that I don't care if you're an Arab sheik with $1 trillion or you're Elon. When you get there, you're like, wow, this is awesome. And it's an hour from Baton Rouge. And I've got somebody interested in it and hopefully get it sold soon. But I can find you something else like it. Also, if the factor is I don't have a budget, but I do want to be close to, pick your city, close to St. Louis or close to Baton Rouge or close to Houston. Okay, but I got to have it close enough that my family will want to come. Okay, well, we got to have it within an hour of Baton Rouge. We got to have it, like where we buy up in Missouri is within an hour and a half of St. Louis or Kansas City. Depends on where we're buying. But that can be a big factor too. But it really probably the main thing, if you have an unlimited budget and you figure out your drive time, what's your goals? Because with an unlimited budget, we can A lot of cool things we can do. You know, you could say, Slade, I want a 100-acre lake. Okay, well, we can find it. You know, may not be tomorrow, but we can find it. All right, one more question. What you got, Zeb?
So if you're buying a property,
Mm-hmm.
you've got no clue, absolutely no idea, and you're looking, you've got absolutely no idea. You just want something cool,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to really, really, really put a lot of time, effort, money into it. Are you looking at maybe a smaller property that needs a lot of work? Or are you looking at a big property with the bones? It just doesn't have necessarily the creme de la creme. The what it just needs to be taken over the edge.
Well, yeah, if you're willing as this individual, if you're willing to spend money on a property, Zeb asked, if somebody said they really didn't know, but they wanted to put a lot of time, money, and effort into a piece of property, correct? I would buy something raw because you're going to pay more. The more turnkey it is, the more you're going to pay. If you're already saying I'm willing to do these things, if you will put up, if you take 100 acres here, it's got one road going into it, no good food plots or trails, nothing like that. It's going to sell for a price. You can literally take that same 100 acres and put $5,000 to $10,000 in it, and it will sell for $50,000 more, because people want to. What people love to do is close on Friday morning and enjoying their place on Friday afternoon. It's that stay at the camp or go hunting. They want it as turnkey as possible, and they're willing to pay for it. And what it is, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm getting to a lot more clients my age, and the world is busy. Like me, most of them are like me. Tomorrow I got T-ball in the morning. Bentley had a track meet yesterday, and then tomorrow I've got Ace's got a baseball game in the afternoon. In fact, in about an hour, I got to bring Ace to a baseball practice. So the world's busy, busier than it used to be. Used to be people didn't, there wasn't as many sports and all that kind of thing. But so the coming up to the camp on Saturday with your electrician buddy and your roofing buddy and working on the camp, or coming up with your buddy that has a bulldozer and spending, 2.5 days on the weekend getting your place ready. It's not as much time to do that. Not as some people do, but so people are willing to pay turnkey. Plus, so many of these guys, I tell people all the time, I said, look, most of my clients from Louisiana, and sometimes their husbands come. It's so when you show up to a turnkey property, mama says, "Ooh, I like this. I can sit my coffee here. Yeah, you can build me a cabin right here." And if they come to the property that needs all this work and the limbs are hitting them in the face and we almost step on a rattlesnake walking through the tall grass, mama probably ain't going to sign off on that, and you probably ain't going to own that property. So that's why I would encourage the person you asked about to buy something raw. If you're wanting to put time, money, and effort into it, it's going to be a better investment for you. And anytime somebody, we've talked about doing the work on a piece of property. Anytime we do that in any area, for the most part, we can help you find those people. I got a client I sold some stuff to last week, and I'm going to his property next week, and we're going to go lay out his food plots and his road system and stuff like that, kind of give him my recommendations. I'm actually doing that with 2 landowners next week. I love to do that. I don't have unlimited time to do that work for people, but I can help do it. And a lot of times we can do it on the computer with maps and stuff like that, and then you go lay it out. The mapping technology and what you can do on a computer. When I was doing this 15 years ago, like literally I had a handheld GPS. I would walk around somewhere where I wanted to put a food plot and say, all right, I want this food plot to be 3 acres. Walk around 1.7. All right, walking around now 4.2. Like just it was just a different ball game. Now I'd go on OnX or MapRight or Land ID, and I draw it out, and most of my dozer operators that we use, I tell them go color in the lines. Here you go. I'm gonna send it to you, and it makes it a lot easier. So what I'm saying is we can help you with that. All right, let me see if I covered everything on my list. Just kind of give y'all a tidbit. We got some new listings coming up. I got a 60-acre tract in Pike County coming up that's going to be a good hunting track. I've actually sold that track twice. People have upgraded, downgraded, and this guy's just moving to a different hunting property. So got that one coming up. I got the big $8 million listing. That's going to be bad to the bone. Ducks, deer, turkeys. It is a Delta dream. So that's going to be a good one. I'm excited to get that one on the market next week. And like y'all heard me earlier, Zeb said he's going to make the best listing video ever. So y'all be looking for it, and you can give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. What some other listings we got? I got one working on down in Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana. Going to be a couple of 50 to 70 acre listings. We're splitting the track up. And then what else? I looked at one today. I looked at some Amite County listings today that are going to be some 20 acre stuff up to 50 acre stuff, either connecting to or real close to Homestead National Forest. So that's some good stuff. We've still got some listings we still got some shares of Southside. It's not on the market anymore as a whole track. So Southside's a share club. We're going to do a podcast soon all about equity share clubs and kind of teach y'all why they're good or why they're bad. You know, to each their own. If you want to hunt like you got $10 million for a couple $100,000, equity shares the way to go. If you want a super exclusive private place for yourself, equity share may not way to go. But we're going to save all that for a episode soon. I think that would be a really good, because a lot of people don't know what these equity shares are. And as land values go up, I think they're going to get more and more popular because you can do so much. Let's just take Southside for instance. You can spend $400,000. You can have your camp. You can have 3,000 acres to duck, deer, and turkey hunt on, small game. So you can stretch your legs and hunt a lot. Now, one day somebody may go be in your spot, and you may not like that, and you may say, I wish I would have bought my own private land. But, you know, it's benefits and negatives, so to each their own. Well, we're going to jump off of here. I got to get to baseball practice. I just kind of want to update y'all on the land market in general to make this short. The land market is great right now. Turkeys seem to be a little bit hemmed up, but we're going to get that last one on my limit soon. Then we got to get Lori one. Y'all be looking for some new episodes. The next episode that Zeb's going to do is a, let me see, it is Bentley's Kill, really good hunt. Turkey didn't gobble any, but good Lord, he was pretty coming in. And then we brought a client of mine on a tract of land they bought earlier this year and had an unbelievable hunt. Had turkeys everywhere, gobbling good, strutting for the camera, gobbling at the camera. It was a fun hunt. That'll be a fun episode. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up at the end of the month. After we get done killing all the turkeys in the South, the whole SEC will be shot up. We're headed up to Midwest, and we're going to, me, Blake, Ryan, and some other friends are going up to Missouri and Iowa, and we're going to have an absolute blast. Not only are we be killing turkeys, but we'll probably do a podcast while we're up there. We've got corn to get planted while we're up there, or either get a game plan for the corn. We got 2 new properties, both of which Ryan, the other owner of these properties, has never seen. I've seen them both. And we're excited to get up there. I think this fall is going to be one of our best ever up there because we've got some really good properties and we're super excited about it. So we're going to get up there soon. We're going to kill some turkeys. We're going to get some stuff ready for the fall. It's always deer season. I'm thinking right now how I can, every day when I'm turkey hunting, walking around my properties, how can I improve my property to make it better deer hunting? And you need to be doing that too. It'll be time to plant your bachelor pad soon. Don't let anybody tell you any different in this area. Bachelor pad. Iron clay peas, joint vetch, Alley's clover. The peas are going to come up fast. If your deer don't smoke them like they do mine, they'll be great. But after that, the deer cannot keep up with that Alley's clover and that joint vetch. You're going to have a great food plot. If you don't believe it, look at the pictures on the website at Backwoods. The pictures are from my field right in front of my house, and I grew that during a drought. I'm telling you, it's a great product. That's what I'll be planting in all my summer food plots. It's time to get protein feed out now, too. I'm running a little late. Got to do that. If you put minerals out, go ahead and get them going. And, get a game plan. That's something huge. We'll probably do a podcast on soon. Is I know what deer made it, so I know what I need to be working on. Okay, where do I need to put? I got one deer over here. of my lease. I know that I'm going to be putting food plots here and doing this. I'm actually going to put 2 stages of summer food plots. I've got plans, and I don't know, it's fun to plan like that. I know where a couple other shooters are, placed just south of there. Just coming up with different game plans about how I can kill the deer that I know that made it are going to be in that 5 to 6 year old category, which is what we want to take. So we're going to jump off of here. We got a lot of stuff we need to talk about. I said we're going to do a podcast on that at about 10 things a day, so we need to get on it soon. Y'all have a blessed day, and we're going to jump off of here.